If I could sit across from my 30-year-old self, still trying to hold it all together, still hoping for permission to rest, still afraid to take up space, I wouldn't give her advice. I'd tell her the truth that reinvention isn't a glow up, it's a resurrection. Today, I want to share 5 things I wish someone had told me back then, before the weight gain, the loss, the rebuild, and the rediscovery. Because if you're in your 50s and wondering if it's too late, it's not. You're just getting started. You'll lose people, and that's okay. Reinvention doesn't just change you, it disrupts the version of you that others were already comfortable with. You'll outgrow dynamics, friendships, roles you used to tolerate. And when you stop shrinking, people who benefited from your silence may get uncomfortable. I worked with someone who felt that the best way to dominate me was to threaten to catch me alone. He felt comfortable saying this to me anytime we would pass each other at the workplace. I was the only female who worked there. I really wanted to be successful, so I just smiled and looked away, or I would avoid him completely, or I would sometimes just laugh it off. Once, he did catch me alone. Now, I need you to understand this man was about 2 inches shorter than me, about 50 pounds heavier, and in his little suit, he kind of looked like the general shape of Mr. Potato Head. So when he caught me alone, he pushed his body up against me, which pushed me back against the wall. His beady little eyes hit me right at my chin, and his options were to either get up on his tiptoes and try to kiss me, or he could bend his stump of a neck to my chest. Guess where he went? Before he could go there, though, I found my strength. I took a big step forward. He looked up at me, shocked. I had the look on my face that now my kids would call my scary face, and I bent down to meet his eyes. I said to him in a low, steady voice, again that my kids call my scary voice, "You will not touch or speak to me again. The next time we have this conversation, I will not be this kind." To this day, I don't know where that came from, but he took a step back on his own, and I took another step toward him. He turned red, then he turned around and walked away. Your body isn't the problem. At 30, I was already measuring my worth by numbers on the scale, on my jeans, in someone else's eyes. But reinvention doesn't start with a body change. It starts when you stop waging war on yourself. Every October, someone behind a counter asks me if I want to donate to help breast cancer research. Since I kicked breast cancer's ass, my answer is no thanks. I gave enough. Sometimes I say more, sometimes I don't, but I always get the weird look, and now I'm okay with it. Now, my body is my evidence. It's carried me through hell, and it still shows up for me. You don't have to earn rest. At 30, I believed rest was something you earned after proving your productivity, after the to-do list, after everyone else was okay. But rest isn't earned, it's required, especially in midlife when burnout has a way of sneaking into your bones. You don't get a gold star for pushing through. What you get is resentment, fatigue, and maybe even a breakdown. Since I started journaling, I'm finding that getting it out of my head and down on paper is freeing and super cathartic. Before, when I would try to journal, it always felt like an assignment. And being the rebellion and being the rebellious person I am, anytime I feel like I have to do something, I just don't want to do it anymore. Even if it's something I love to do, like read, or in this case, write. I don't journal every single day. I'm building up to that. But now, when I have more feelings than I know what to do with, I just spill it out onto the paper. You'll get your spark back. There will be seasons when you feel lost, where you won't recognize yourself. And you'll wonder, is this it? Is this who I've become? You are not broken. You're just buried under expectations, in survival mode, feeling like a story that someone else wrote. I started feeling like my old self again when I got into a rhythm of exercise. Before I had babies and got sick, I never had to exercise, so I didn't. But now I do if I want to stay on this healthy train. I find that I like looking at clothes again. I haven't liked that in over 20 years. I still don't look forward to exercising, but I do look forward to the feeling when I've finished. Now it's just a matter of making myself do the work just for me. I got my spark back in midlife, not by going back to who I was, but by becoming someone I actually like. Reinvention is a series, not a single episode. At 30, I thought reinvention was this big lightning bolt moment. Change your life, change your habits, change your mindset, boom. But it's more like a book, one chapter at a time. Sometimes it's messy, and sometimes it's miraculous. And the best part, you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to turn the page. So, to my 30-year-old self, you're doing better than you think. You don't have to hold it all together. You're allowed to let go, start over, and become who you were always meant to be. And remember, you're not too old, it's not too late, and you're not alone. We'll see you soon.